Number 10. Dumb and Dumber. In my humble opinion, this is the greatest comedy of the 90s. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels give two of the greatest comedic performances ever and are probably the stupidest duo to ever appear in film. Every scene, every sentence they speak, and every body movement is pure genius. If you truly want to laugh from the heart, check out the adventures of these two good-hearted but incredibly clueless friends. Number 9. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Some call this film the greatest Thanksgiving movie ever, and they are probably right. Way before Dumb and Dumber, Neal Page, Steve Martin, tried to go home for Thanksgiving, but got stuck with boorish showering salesman Griffith, John Candy. Their experiences over the next 2 days were some of the funniest moments ever to grace the silver screen. The best parts are the pillow scene, the car rental scene, and the freeway scene. Warning, you may very well laugh yourself to death. Number 8. Three Amigos. In this comic masterpiece that will make you cry from laughing too much, three unemployed actors accept an invitation to a Mexican village to replay their bandit fighter roles, unaware that it is the real thing. Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short play the three amigos who end up in this crazy predicament yet manage to make the best of it. Number 7. Airplane. Airplane is the master of all spoofs. A satire of the disaster movies of the 1970s, particularly the Airport series. Nothing makes sense, and it doesn't need to. There's no real plot, just a man afraid to fly who must ensure that a plane lands safely after the pilots become sick. Leslie Nielsen, Robert Stack, Peter Graves, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, yep, the basketball star, will make you cry from laughing so hard. Number 6. National Lampoon's Vacation. Every summer, Clark, played by Chevy Chase, takes his family on a little trip, but in this film he went too far. In this timeless classic, the Griswold family's cross-country drive to Wally World theme park proves to be much more arduous, and hysterically funny for us, than they ever anticipated. Number 5. Stircrazy. Most film fanatics like a prison movie, and pretty much everyone likes a Gene Wilder-Richard Pryor comedy, so combine the two and you've got a formidable piece of cinematic history. The two comedians play Skip Donahue and Harry Monroe, a pair of New Yorkers whose lives are going nowhere. After witnessing the scene where they enter the jail cell, you'll know you've witnessed one of the greatest, if not the greatest, comic scenes in film. Number 4. The Pink Panther. This classic is arguably the greatest comedy of the 60s. If you watch this film today, you will probably find out that the jokes are so underplayed, quiet, and perfectly paced that people accustomed to seeing films like American Pie, which we still love, may not even laugh at the humor of the film. Peter Sellers, considered by many film critics as the greatest comedic actor ever, as Inspector Jacques Claus is one of the funniest characters in cinematic history. Number 3. Blazing Saddles. In Blazing Saddles, a corrupt political boss wants to ruin a western town, and to do so, he appoints a black sheriff, who promptly becomes his most formidable adversary. Blazing Saddles is without doubt one of the greatest comedies in history and takes us all back to a more innocent era, an era where PC was just a couple of letters stuck together. Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks at their best, again. Number 2. Some Like It Hot. Billy Wilder's screwball masterpiece starring Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and the immortal Marilyn Monroe gave them the best comedy roles of their careers. One of the all-time great big-screen comedies, Some Like It Hot is Monroe's best film hands down. Number 1. The Naked Gun. The real question that The Naked Gun poses is not why it's one of the funniest spoofs ever made, but why virtually no subsequent movie in this genre has been any good at all. Leslie Nielsen is undoubtedly a comedic genius, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is another masterpiece from the creators of the hysterical Airplane,